Welcome to the Plant Movement Podcast. And we'll be talking about what God has in store for the green industry's fire.
God, growth, and purpose.
Strive for improvement. Time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate. Plant in the movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish. Building up the team. Our network with purpose. Industry is green. Only scratch the surface. Know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness. Trying to give the code. Moving up with patience. Foundation stone. Doing what it takes. We're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. I'm your host, Willie Rodriguez, guys, and I am blessed and honored today to be interviewing somebody that has a massive calling for the industry, that I can feel his presence here today, just the way he speaks and what his mission is. I cannot wait for you guys to listen to what he brings to the table. But before we jump into the episode, right now, I just walked into the studio. I was actually a few minutes late, but I let everybody know. The Plant Finder sent us a bunch of boxes with their own personal Bedrock's Essential Guide to Palms, and it has pictures in it, it has history in it. I just think about the work that they put into what they did here for us.
Wow.
And it is literally insane. And man, Bedrock, Plant Finder, you guys just keep surprising us. So
Wow.
Keep
That's
it going.
nice.
Thank you guys for this. If you guys want to get a copy, go on their website, plantfinder.com, or Bedrock, maybe it's Bedrock.
Come by the office.
Or come by the office if you're close. Yeah, we have a bunch of boxes. Come by the office if you're close. We would love to see you, say hello, give you a hug. We'll give you a shirt if we got any more shirts. We'll give you one of the books, guys. We would love to meet you in person and give you one of these books. Let's talk about the industry, right? Let's have some fun. Let's go back to the episode. Oh, I'm just so excited. Alberti, man. God bless you,
Yes,
my brother.
God bless you too, man.
I'm just very excited to have you here, man. Like I've been watching your journey. Like, let's say what you post on Instagram, right? Is what I've watched. And we didn't speak for the first time till the other day, which we had a good hour-long, powerful conversation, just getting to know who we are and what, our position in the industry and in life. And I've seen you, like you're a landscaper. You do really nice jobs. Your jobs have gotten way better because I believe I've been following you for a few years. So you've perfected your craft. You've elevated what you do. Let's say the marketplace. Let's say the clientele.
Yes.
Has elevated. You've learned how to maneuver in that space, how to become an asset in that market, so you can maintain rhythm and momentum in that space. So like I've seen you learn things, and I've seen you apply it, and then I've seen you overcome all of what it takes to be the man that you are today, right? So I've seen you posting that, but then I also see you posting pictures at the beach where it's like, man, what's going on, right? So it's like, it's not content about the landscape company, because that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's a picture of you. So I'm like, instantly, I'm like, all right, this guy's morphing. Something's going on. Something's going on inside this gentleman, because I know what that is. Fast forward, now I see you posting stuff about speaking at church on stage, and I see you talking about how your journey has impacted you so much that now you feel called to do something for others that are, on similar paths. And I see you like erupting. I see you like more transparent, more just like free, more certain, knowing that this is the right path for you, and you're taking reins and you're going.
Yes.
Evolving.
Yes.
I see it. And I love it. It's a high energy. Right now, guys, you're not here, but the energy is high.
Yes.
It's goosebumps all over.
Yes.
But talk to me, bro. The first thing I want to know, how'd you get into this industry? Why the industry?
Well, that's a great question. How did I get into this journey? Now, who is Alberti? If it's okay to tell my story.
Do it. Jump in down. Let's go.
That's cool. Is that
Talk
cool?
about what's on your head. Go. Let's go.
Well, I got into this. It is interesting because I played Little League Baseball.
Okay.
And there was a coach named Coach Burt,
Okay.
And in that park, we always played baseball. And he had a company. And I had a girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
My family didn't have money like that to give me money to go where I needed to go.
Okay.
So I asked him, you have a job? He's like, yeah. And he seen the potential in me on the field. I hustled. I was always running in and out the dugout.
Okay.
I was like, let's go. I was a team leader. And so he was like, yeah, we'll get you started. So then from there, he started paying me like $4 an hour.
Okay.
And we were out there. And
How old were you?
I think I was about 13. I was 13 at the time.
That's awesome.
He gave me the opportunity, and I just ran with it. I liked it, the weed eater. I liked it, the edger. I did everything.
Okay.
And then from there, I was getting paid $150. I would take my girlfriend to the movies. I would do
Nice.
that stuff. So I didn't really have to depend on other people
Oh, nice.
to get what I needed, you know? So that in that form, that's how I got into the business of landscaping. It wasn't until 2015 I started the business, but before that, I was working for Costco Wholesale. I worked with them for about 4 years at that time. And then from there, I was like, you know, I didn't like the aspect that the whole clocking in and clocking out thing. You know, I like free will. Free will, if that makes sense. And I knew I had this talent in landscaping. I just didn't hone in on it. Growing up, I had these limiting beliefs that if I could do something, if I can't, and then that all started from as a child, you know, from what my parents were able to teach me at that point. So from these limiting beliefs, I had fear. You know, can I really do this? You know, and I didn't think I could do it because in my family, we didn't have business people, you know. I had my father, he was like a machine though. You know, definitely hard work was presented there because he was 7 days a week. At drop a dime, if they called him, he was there. I never seen him ever complain about a day that, oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta do. This guy, no matter what it is, he was a smile, he was out the door. You know, and that's his way of providing to us at the time. And so with that, I knew I had the ability to do it. I knew that, but I had to break those mental barriers, that this fear, can I start this company? And you know, and it took one person. I reached out to one person. Shout out to my daughter's mom, you know,
Wow.
my first daughter's mom.
Okay.
You know, I know she's going to see this.
That's good. That's good. Shout out.
You know,
big shout out. Much love.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
And she actually helped me like create it.
Okay. Wow.
You know, the financial part.
Okay.
You know, I was like, this is gonna work out. You know, she's the first one to actually like believe in me at that time.
Yeah.
Even though I had nothing to show for it, there was that one person that was like that had that belief. And she was like, cool, let's do it, you know? And then that opportunity came from getting a trailer, getting a machine, getting the weed eaters. And, you know, when you first get your machines and weed eaters, you're like, yo, I'll go out right now.
Yeah.
And that, you know, I'll never forget it because that was the time when my daughters, we were in that motion. And my daughter was becoming born.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I'll never forget that my daughter was becoming born, and I went to go knock on. I had about 800 flyers, and I knocked on those doors like everywhere, you know. But here's the crazy part: is that I knocked on all the doors in the community that already had the one landscaper for the whole community.
Okay, wow. So you went to it. You're basically stepping on someone's toes.
Yeah,
knocking
toes.
on everybody's door.
And at that, you had to go through the HOA.
Yeah, it was dead time wasted.
I didn't know about that, but it was a learning experience. But I still had the trust. But that's how it all started, from 13 to creation in 2015 until where I'm at today.
Okay.
You know, but that's how it started.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was just the beginning.
That's crazy.
That was the beginning.
No, but like let's break that down real fast to not skip over that. It takes one person to trust and believe in you.
Yes.
For them to see what you don't see.
Yes.
And then you start to see it. And it just takes one person.
Yeah.
God sends one person, that's all you really need.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't need nobody, but sometimes.
Yes.
So then from there you started doing landscaping.
Yeah.
And now you work on multiple different things. So today you're doing design, you're doing landscaping, you're touching anything hardscape?
Yeah, I touch a hardscape. I probably touch almost everything in the backyard besides pools. But that all started because I was cutting a lot of grass.
Okay.
A lot of grass every day. But then I didn't like the fact that I felt like a UPS driver.
Yeah.
Door to door, doing 20 lawns a day. And sometimes I was doing a lot of these lawns by myself. But I knew there was more to this. More to this. So then I had to really dig deep, you know, where can I go to certain projects where I could be on one project, make the same amount of money, but not having the same amount of miles and disruption in my trucks or anything like that.
And how did you do that?
How did I do that? I was watching people on Instagram, seeing the landscape designs and stuff like that, and I had friends as well.
But how did you do it? How did you do that? How did you create that?
Create that's
well, because you're a coach now,
Yeah.
and people, I want to tap into all of that and talk about that.
Right.
How do you do that? How do you create that?
Yeah, well, the creation was belief. I had to break old belief system. You know, that limited belief system that I had that I like I couldn't do it.
Okay.
You know, there was that fear will come in, and that can I transition from lawns to landscape design? But I had to break away and lose something, and that's a scary feeling, that I have to put something to the side, sacrifice that, and move forward to what I want to do. And I had to drive that stake in the ground. This is what I want to do. You know, and I believe a lot of us are in that position, whether we want to continue to cut grass, we know we could do more bigger, or more, just do more effective, more designs. And I just had to believe. So I had to basically sell my equipment, that was a scary process.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to sell my equipment. I had
to pick up money. To go buy new equipment for now landscaping.
Now the softwares, I had to get the softwares going.
For design.
But before all that, I was doing all on paper.
Which takes long.
Yeah, it takes some time.
I feel like they both take time, though.
Yeah.
I feel like you can get lost in a 3D rendering. You'll add so many things. You'll have jingle bells on the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Adding things that the client doesn't even want.
Know, and you're just messing around.
Yeah. And then I was just drawing. At first, I was drawing, and they were liking it.
And you have no background in that.
No background.
All this is YouTube certified.
Yeah, YouTube certified. I was just drawing. I'm a good drawer, though.
Okay.
I think I am.
Okay.
And
and then bringing your visions to life.
Yeah. And this is how it's going to look like. And I had friends who are landscape designers. So I asked them, hey, can you join me on this landscape design and guide me?
Okay.
So I started learning from others too. You know, and but I was a little bit more complicated. You know, some of the friends that I've used, they were very like into certain dynamics of the way they do their designs.
Everyone has their own style.
Everyone. Me, I was just like, man, I want to put different color rocks. I want to put this here. I want to put that there, and it was too complicated. And I remember I was on a project. I was about to get a project, and there was a breaking point where I was working with one of the contractors. He was like, "You're making it too difficult." You know, and I was like,
Why was it?
Because I was adding different colors of rocks, and really it was just we just wanted, the whole idea was just to go in there, bang it out, and leave. But I didn't see the project like that.
Okay.
You know, I definitely want to add different elements in there. Different color rocks, a rock here, all different types of elements into the project. I believe in landscape designing, there's a lot of key elements. And so at that point, I was like, either I continue to the way as I see others do it, or I start doing it the way my creativity pops up. So I was like, I'm just going to do it the way I think I should do it. You know, there's some aspects you definitely have to get like a mentor to guide you in certain ways, like irrigation you got to do. But the creativity side, I just didn't want to let that go. You know, I felt like I was backing down from that. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this project on my own. I ended up doing it on my own. Okay. And once I had
with no subs.
No subs, no nothing. You know, I was like, I got to do this on my own. And it's the only way I was able to make mistakes. The more mess I make, the more I'm able to clean it up and see what I did wrong. So that's one key thing. Never be afraid to make mistakes. Never be afraid. Today, I love problems. Problems love me. I'm a problem solver today.
100%.
Yeah.
So you want them. You want them. You learn. We've learned so much, you know, from that.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of the designs, my aspirations comes from out the country, you know, and seeing, because on Instagram, you can see all these pretty things that they do overseas. And I'd be like, wow, you know, in Israel and all these other locations that we do down here. And it's just phenomenal with landscape design. But the one thing that is, during this whole process of landscape designing, you know, I was definitely pouring my heart into it. There's always a sticking point in everything. The one thing that I was seeing is that I wasn't getting the satisfaction as like I should be, you know, and I had to like really step back a lot.
How long was that into? Well,
almost like I say 2 years ago. Okay. You know, I was pouring so much into something, but I feel like that I wasn't pouring into myself. Landscape design, what it did for me is brought hope. It brought the creativity in my life. Wow. You know, it definitely brought the creativity, the meaning of creator in my life. You know, and I was pouring so much into it that I forgot the gift that was given to me. It was just a money. We need a different project. We need to go. And that's all I was just go. And, you know,
you weren't noticing what you were supposed to notice or enjoy what you were supposed to enjoy, because you're a servant, right? So
yes.
you weren't serving in the way that is fulfilling for you.
Right.
You don't feel complete.
Yeah, you weren't complete.
Yeah,
You didn't feel complete.
Yes, I wasn't complete. You know, even though I was doing the landscaping, even when I was making money, you know, because even the money was just a short-term satisfaction.
It's a number, man.
It's just a freaking number, you know. And I was like, there's even triggers a lot doing landscaping design. You know, you're doing a project. Yeah, I'll give you a 2D design. I'll give you a 3D design. Sometimes when being a designer and you're just coming up, it's free.
Yeah.
You got to do some free stuff.
Oh, and you're
just to
pouring your heart into something to
Yeah.
actually see if they'll actually say yes.
Yeah.
And then you get probably rejection and a gotten or hey man, thank you. We're gonna go to Home Depot and get 5 dudes and we're gonna take care of it ourselves.
Oh,
No, because when
my.
you're coming up, dude, you get walked all over because you don't
Yes.
have that base yet.
Right.
And then you're not respected yet. So
Right.
like people take advantage of that, man.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And the worst thing to do is that you give them a design and you come the following 2 weeks to drive by their house.
Oh, and it's done.
And it's done the same way that you said it, but not in the execution that your team would do it, but it's similar to the design.
How do
had.
you do it now? Now that you are, older, you've been doing this now. When you give out a design, is there like a clause at the bottom, or what could someone put? Someone could put something at the bottom that says, "This design is only for my installation use." Put like you could put something. Yeah, disclaimer: you can't use this for 3 years.
Right.
You cannot sell this on Etsy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually a good way to think about it. But it's funny you said
But
that.
you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do whatever
can.
you want.
Oh wow,
of
I didn't
course,
even
man.
know that.
Man, you're an owner.
I didn't even know that.
You could do whatever you want.
Wow,
You
I
can
didn't
make
know
your
that.
own rules.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what all these big guys do.
Yeah.
Listen, I had a conversation. This is off topic real quick, but with 2 people within 1 hour outside of this office. One guy was talking about how he can't get $1,500 for a design. And the other guy was how he got 50 grand to do the design. 2 different worlds.
Right.
Crazy. It happened right out here. But that's how it is. So how do you go around it? It's putting yourself 1st. Respecting yourself, which is something we talked about at the end of the last episode
Yes.
on 2024, the last episode. Respect.
Yes.
So you demand respect by giving yourself respect, number
Right,
one,
right,
and
right.
not falling short at all, man, and like
Right.
not letting people walk over you by putting things in place.
Yes. So I definitely try to make that relationship with the client, and most of the time when I tell them about how much my design fee costs, if it does go good, I say 75% can go to the invoice.
Okay, that's good because then you're not. Most people do 100%. Right? So 75% is good because you're at least still getting compensated for your time.
Right.
Like a little bit, 25% of what you would charge.
Right.
So I see that as that's good. That's actually good. That's something for you guys to do.
Yeah. It's
75, not 100.
Right. Because you got a lot of people who are very visual, and to get that visual aspect.
No, those 3D renderings for me are on another level.
Yeah.
I sometimes watch them and I'm like, is this a rendering or is this
Yeah.
real? Like
Yeah.
some programs are that good.
Yes. Yeah, and I use VIP 3D right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a really good software.
I'm not
to
familiar
use.
with none of them
Yeah.
because I've never had to use them.
Yeah, it was really good. It's a really good. I say 90% of my jobs get closed by that software.
Okay.
That's a good shot.
That's a good.
Yeah,
That's a good
90%.
shout-out. But like the guy listening on the other side that is a landscaper that wants to jump into
Yes.
that game, you have to invest in yourself. You got to
Yes.
believe in yourself. You got to buy the program. What does that program
Yes.
cost? Couple grand?
I think $200 a month.
Okay, so $2,400
Yeah.
a year, guys. You have access to,
Yep.
and you can grow within the first 12 months to the point. Let's say you jump on that, and you start doing renderings. Boom, boom, boom. You perfect your craft. By the end of the 12 months, you can sell one of your designs for the $2,400,
Yeah.
and you get it all back.
And let us know in the comments what you guys are using.
Yes, and let us know what you guys use in the comments. That way, we can know. I would love to get all these guys on the podcast, or at least one of them.
Yeah.
The actual creator of one of these design
Yes.
softwares. I would love to get.
Yes.
If you guys have access to them, shoot them this episode, this clip, screenshot
Yeah.
it, and screen record it, and shoot it to them. All right.
Yeah, so that's how I basically, because sometimes even with the people don't want to pay for it, but I also was subcontracted to other companies to do other designs.
Okay.
Like I was their
Oh
designer.
wow, that's good.
Yeah, and
Okay.
they're like, hey, just do me a design, you know, and that's how I was able to bring more income in, you know, just reaching out to other landscapers. Hey, do you have a designer? You know, if you have more
That's
work.
awesome.
Yeah, and people were just calling me, you know, they were like, hey, can you do this design? I was like, yeah, you know. Now before it would take me like 10 hours to do a design. Now it's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I charge up to $650 sometimes.
Okay.
And
But that's not bad, man. That's cheap, man.
yeah.
I feel like think about it, for what? For a 2D or a 3D?
It's a 3D design.
Guys, for $600, for up to $600.
The front yard.
Yeah.
The front yard.
Okay.
It varies.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's no excuse to not be presentable and ready when you show up. There's no excuse. And this, you can definitely put it into the budget. If there's, you know, X amount of work, you can literally flood it into the cost of everything, and you can get compensated for it and show up more prepared. And look, 90% closing rate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would definitely, that's a good
That
investment.
means people believe in your work.
Yeah, they believe in the work too.
Yeah. So
you
then
know?
from there, you're doing all this work. You're not satisfied 2 years ago. So, you know, I'm sure your personal life had its own things going on. From there, you started going to church. You started getting closer to God because you felt the pressure and you're against the wall. You're in a box and the only way you can look is up. So you basically gave up the fight and you said, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
I need to get guidance.
I had to surrender because even with all these things that I had in my life, from landscaping to the money coming in, all this, I was just filling in spiritual voids. You know, grabbing these things, trying to fill it in, trying to feel connection. Yeah. You know, like some like people do with their phones. Yeah. Really, when we're on phones, we're just looking for connection.
100%.
You know, so with me working all this time, I knew there was something else that was there, but I just cannot see. You know, and I grew up in the church, but it's like what was deeper was about the community of people that I was able to be around. They were able to love me for who I am until I was able to love myself. Wow. You know, and I'm 4.5, about almost close to 4.5 months.
Months?
Clean.
Months?
Yeah. 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yeah, 4.5 years of no drinking, no smoking, no wet or dry substances that can alter my mind or ego.
That's amazing.
You know, so it is amazing. I never thought I could do that. You're talking to a guy who after workout, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, well, that's most of what it is. You know.
Yes.
You drowned out your sorrows. You don't want to face the reality.
Yeah.
And it takes a true hero to stand up to the plate.
Yes.
For real, it does.
It does. It does. You know, and it was affecting, you know, not just me but everyone around me. You know, so I had to really take that self-obsession, that self-centeredness, everything what I wanted to do for myself, because my unconscious thoughts wanted me to create everything that I wanted to create. You know, my unconscious thoughts wanted me to create this business just for me, just for more money and do this more and more. But sometimes I had to go really back. Where did this concept of more came from? And I had to really just like stop and think, where did it come from? Because as a child, you know, from wanting more candy and more this and more of that whole concept just grew into an adult. And I really have the belief of our inner childs grow with us as adults.
1000%.
You know, and we want more things. We want more of this. But now today, I'm just more aware of it. I see you there. I acknowledge you that you want more of this. But this is where we're at as a mature and adult. You know, able to have that discipline. Discipline in my decisions and my actions. Do we really need another truck? Do we really need to, you know, invest into more of this? Because sometimes I was in the business of looking for blessings, but, you know, a lot of us like, hey, I'm in a business looking for blessings, but in that moment, I had to be the blessing to other people. Wow. Before I started looking for the blessings.
Wow. You had to learn how to serve.
Yeah, exactly. I had to be more of a servant.
And also learn how to be a good steward.
Yes. So in the past 2 years, I started learning that, being a good steward. You know, even when it comes to the designs, I'm still a good steward. Yeah. Like, you know what? You may not be able to afford this, but I will walk with you through this landscape design. I will give you some ideas. I pray and hope you can find a contractor who can, execute this, but I'll walk with you through this still.
Wow.
And not everyone I have to say no, because I know every interaction, every connection that I have with someone, it's always for a purpose. It doesn't always have to be about money, money. Every situation, every person that you meet out there is a divine connection with the higher power that you believe in. Mine is God. Mine is Jesus Christ. But it's always a divine connection with everyone that you meet. There's no coincidence. There's no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence.
Everything happens for a reason.
That robs God's glory.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. So, and I started taking that perspective into now my business. It's like I'm here for connection. I'm here for purpose. I'm here to help people build their landscapes. But now it's like building their landscapes in the outside and also building contractors landscapes on the inside, because my story could definitely spark the mind of someone in there, and there's someone who's watching today that's gonna be like, wow, I can relate to his story. And if I did my job on this podcast today for someone to be like, you know what, maybe I am drinking a little too much, maybe I do need to surrender this, so I could really focus on my business, my family. Just know that you're not alone. You can always reach out to someone on the backgrounds, because we're so busy with our businesses and our families that as men, we want to be that alpha male and be like, no one needs to know about what's going on inside. When we work 14, 15 hours a day, and there was a lot of times I'll put that Band-Aid over and went to drinking. And went to doing all this other stuff.
Man, dude, there's so much. You said so much, and I'm just here. I'm soaking it in.
Yeah. And I, when I talked to you that day, you got me emotional too, man, because you're like, Alberti, I prayed for you, man.
Yeah, bro.
And I felt that voice in you say, hey, I prayed for you.
Yeah.
And from one person to another, just to pray for each other is huge. And I remember you told me the time that you wanted me on your podcast, it just wasn't that divine moment at that time. And you were just listening to the connection inside of you. And then when I finally reached out to you, that was the refined version of me that you were looking for. And that touched my heart, man, because, that's the refined version I am today. It was confirmation from you.
Powerful.
Not
from me, from God.
Yeah, from God,
we talk about something I want to talk about real fast. I talk with my trainer about how you have to stop and buy the flowers. And I use this story because he stopped the one day that he thought about buying flowers for his mom and thought about buying flowers, but he never did, and he never did, and he never did, and he finally did. And when he went and created that opportunity, what was in him to go buy the flowers and make a moment for his mom, it changed the whole dynamic of his whole family.
Oh wow!
The flowers. I'm goosebumped out.
Wow.
It's like, how do you know what God is trying to tell you, man? And it's and it's like someone that doesn't know who God is. It's your conscience, number one. Like your conscience knows what's up.
Yes.
We all have been raised somewhere where we have some type of morals, especially if you're listening to this podcast. You got to understand what that is. And then by doing that, now you're not doing what your flesh wants you to do. You're doing what your spirit is telling you to do. Okay, because there's two crazy walks. There's the one on earth and there's the one that's spiritual. And we all know that they're real. It's like, man, I have to do this because I have it on my chest. I have to give this to this guy. I have to call this guy. I have to pray for this man. I have to do this. I feel that I have to do it. And now you're no longer living for yourself.
That's right.
You're living to serve, man. We're here put on earth to serve.
Yes.
We all do what we do today as professionals because it's what we're good at. God gave us all something that we're fire at.
Yes.
Okay? And our job is to not be scared about it and go and do it, but also learn. We get put in these positions to learn, to feel the pressure, to feel the heat, to be able to give up and surrender for more that we don't understand. Like this podcast, I don't make any money doing this podcast. I talked to you for an hour the other day. I don't make any money doing podcasts. I talk to a lot of people. I don't make no money doing nothing. God doesn't want me focused on money. He wants me focused on what creating, doing something more than just us, right? Like we all want to be a part of something big. We all are, if you see it that way.
Right.
Okay? I want to be a part of something big. Okay, but the only way to do that is to surrender what my flesh wants.
Yes. The more people you help.
Yeah, the more it is, and it's not about money,
yes,
man. And if you need money, God will give it. I talked to a guy the other day, and I'll say this on this podcast. We're talking about creating something massive for the industry coming up. He's like, man, this is gonna cost millions of dollars. How are you gonna, like, you walk so confidently? How are you gonna do it? And I said, brother, let me tell you something, man. We walk by faith, not by sight.
Come on.
So if God wants us to do this, my bro, He's gonna put the money on our table, and without even looking for it. And I told him, and you don't know this, bro, but 2 weeks ago, I had one of my buddies come to the nursery looking for me, that he had $5 million that he was selling buildings, and he didn't know where to put it. He came over here to ask me where to put it.
Wow.
So there you go, man. You know, goosebumped out, guys. So
me too. Look
yeah.
at
And it's like, how do you get into that? How do you tap into that? It's being a good steward, man. It's doing for more than just you. And then we get refined as men when it comes to your home life with your spouse or your significant other or anything, like breaking chains and barriers and like things that are over your family that have been generational curses, what people call them. And that's what it is, man. You gotta show up to the plate, man. Like I told you the story about going up to the mountain, grabbing the staff.
Yes.
You know, you have to do that.
Yes.
You know, some of us are called to do big things, and you got to understand that. Now, you feel called to do something more for the industry, and you're niching it to what you know.
Yes.
So you're not shifting from what you know to try to be somebody you're not. You're sticking to your lane. Now you're doing coaching and mentoring.
Yes.
And you're doing, I want to know what that is and how deep it goes. Can you tell us?
Yes. So it gets very deep, you know. A lot of our, let's say, our limiting beliefs comes from, like I said, as a childhood.
Yeah, what we were around and what people told us.
Exactly. You know,
or the way something was done.
Exactly.
Guys, so we genuinely want to thank you for tuning in to all of the episodes that you have listened to on the Plant Movement Podcast. We put a lot of love into this. We are the voice of the industry, and I'm calling you guys out. If you want to position yourself and be a leader in your niche and what you do, what you grow, nursery based, whatever it is, guys, this podcast was created to bring us together, to be able to let other people know that you are who you are in the game. We've also, and I don't got to say this, I don't got to sell it. If you are looking for a logistics company, the guys that you're working with aren't coming through 100%, guys, we have Plant Logistics. Plant Logistics is our drivers, our personal drivers out going and delivering product professionally directly for you. The nursery growers, guys, there's no excuse to not have fire product. You don't need a doctor. We have worked on so many different things to be able to even go and spray the product at people's nurseries. If you are in Miami-Dade County, meaning you don't need a tractor, you don't need a blower, you don't need a sprayer, you don't need an employee, you don't need another W-2. You don't have to deal with that. We take care of it. A's Ornamental, guys, if you're a landscaper, you're a garden center, you're a broker, there's so many things that we bring to the table. We might not be the cheapest because that's what everyone says around town, but the reality is we come through on the things that no one wants to do. We take all the risk when it comes to gathering product, holding it for you. Think about the opportunities that can be created by having a service like that, holding product. You know how product's short? Let stuff grow. The nursery growers maintains it. Plant Logistics delivers it. You guys get the flow? We're here for you. Let's grow, guys. Enjoy the episode.
For instance, you know, with the whole mentoring, the coaching part, is not only that we can help scale other businesses, but also, you know, scale that what's in. Uncovering those unconscious beliefs, figuring out where it came from, where did it stem from, and then now we're creating new beliefs.
Wow.
Yeah, new beliefs, new faith, because with faith comes anticipation, you know, and that's one thing. You got your doubt. Our whole lives we're just looking in doubt, the negative aspect, doubt, what if, what that, and now life is like faith, anticipation. It's no more like what ifs. It's like it's gonna happen. If it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. If not, we just pivot. That's where I developed something through actually everything. You know, I've been mentored by people like that's been mentored by Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, and my mentor personally has opened a whole new reality of what I thought was my reality. Wow. You know, and it's just a pivotal moment for me. And I was like, I got to share this with other people. How can I share it? You know, in my industry, this is the reality I was able to come up for myself. That's unconscious self from the way I structured my business. It was very unresponsible, and I thought everything was okay. And I had to uncover all of that stuff, because once you're aware to that conscious, you can't go back. You get so aware.
You have to move forward, and you got to fix it.
And
it's
then
disgusting.
So next thing you know, you're so conscious of it that it's like
it irks you.
Yeah, it irks you. Now you're so revealed to what's going on that now it's like if you stay there, you're done.
You're doomed.
You're doomed. You're doomed.
You're not buying the flowers.
Yeah, you're not buying the flowers.
You're not paying attention.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And I'm like, man, once I was revealed to it, it's like, Lord, I got to push more.
Wow.
I got to do a little, I got to serve. How can I serve more people?
Yeah.
And I was like, you got social media. Let's go out there. Let's start making videos. Let's start to introduce people to what you were doing. And all it takes is commitment. But the biggest thing is to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
I had to surrender the way my belief system was. And actually trust another man to walk me through a path that's going to reveal something greater that's within me.
Wow. Which is through mentorship.
Yes, through mentorship. I had to get that guidance. Yeah. I had to call someone for 30 days straight. That's one of the things in my program. You have to call me for 30 days straight. Wow. I have to see that you want to be committed to this. Oh, wow. And
so what I like about a mentor, especially the way that you're doing. Wow. I want to tap into that real quick. You're holding people super accountable.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not here to take people's money. If by 3 months and you're not doing a commitment, here's your money back.
Oh, wow.
Here's your money back.
That's fire.
Yeah, because we don't do that. It only works if you work it.
Tell me about that experience. Someone listening, they're touched. They want more out of their life. They want fulfillment. They want to change. They want to grow. They want to buy the flowers. They reach out.
Action.
What are they going to do?
Take action.
Take action.
Take action. Holla at me, get to my Instagram, shoot me a DM, and just take action. That you want this change. You have to take action. If you're just in complacency, that's not going to happen. You need to have movement. Movement drives things. And that movement is what gets you to where change is, where your next self-being is.
Okay.
And that's what took me that in there, I need help. But not a lot of men at my age, 38, going into 40 is like,
I need help. No, our egos are so big. Our ego is like so simple. It limits us like you would not believe.
Yeah. So I challenge whoever's watching this. I don't care how much money you got or what's going on. Reach out to someone. We all have weaknesses in our business, in our life, in our relationships. Reach out to someone and say, I need help in this area.
Yeah, because you're going to grow exponentially.
Yeah. Just reach out. The landscaping industry is one of the best industries because it's like a brotherhood. You call people up, they'll be like, yeah, sure, yeah, what you got going on?
The green industry, baby.
Yeah, the green industry. You could just call some people up. Even if you don't even if you don't know them.
Straight up, and they might pour into you.
Yeah. I had that happen so many times, man, and I'm like, damn.
All I had to do was call them. I should have called them 6 months ago, and it popped in my mind.
I'm telling you, there goes that limiting belief. Like, if I call, am I gonna get rejected? Is something going on? Even if you do get rejected, you keep on calling.
Straight up,
you keep on calling. Yeah, like Les Brown, one of my favorite speakers. He says, "I'm searching for the 99 no's to get to that one yes."
Wow.
Just to that one yes. And that's all we're looking for is one yes.
Yes.
And just having the presence. But to that person who's looking for change, it takes surrender that I don't know it all. I need to learn more. And it's time to move on.
And you feel called to do it too.
Yes.
You got to feel called to do it too, because now you won't be searching for more.
It would be a disservice if I don't help someone out what I've learned has been so freely given to me. Mentors that give it to me, it would be a disservice not to share what I know now.
Wow.
It would be a disservice.
Wow. What else are they doing? It's all catered to landscaping too, right?
Yeah.
This is landscape niche.
Yeah, landscape. So we got to make sure in part of your business.
And you're a contract. You sub people out. You've done a whole thing. You build a 6-figure business.
Yes.
You have constant cash flow.
Yes.
So like it can happen, guys.
Yeah, it can definitely happen. I don't need me to toot my horn, but I'm pretty smart when it comes to this because I love to keep my expenses down.
Okay.
How can I get other people with their own machines to come in and do their own thing? Okay. Without having to use all my machines. I don't like monthly expenses.
Okay.
So I try to keep it down to exactly what I need to. So I was able to, and I like to have people who are smarter than me around me.
Okay.
I want to be maybe the dumbest person in that group.
Yes.
Because my concrete guy, that guy's an artist. This guy's young guy, but he's amazing.
Okay.
Whatever he wants to be paid, dale. Here you
Give
go.
it to him.
Yeah. He does amazing work.
Wow.
You know,
So you have somebody that's pouring into what they do.
pouring in, you know, pouring in, all that stuff. You know, and when it comes to those, to the planting, even to the irrigation, you know, there's guys who do art in the plumbing and the irrigation, doing in nice clean lines.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Shout
man,
out to you boys putting the extra mile in.
Yeah,
we see you.
Yeah, we see you. You know, and I figured out that I can't do this all on my own.
Yeah.
I can't. So I had to make connections with other people. You know, these projects get so big. You know, it's like acting as the GC on a landscape design. You need your irrigation. You need your plant guy.
Well, technically, that's what you are.
Yeah, exactly. You need the logistics.
You show up to the end consumer saying, "Hey, I got everything for you, but the pool."
Yes,
And
but the pool.
because y'all met a
Not
pool
yet.
guy yet, a good pool guy.
Yeah.
You're a good pool guy. Holler at him. He's in
Please.
Boca. And then, and then that way you can add it to your resume. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you do. You make that connection, and then you have people that come through.
Yeah.
On the other side is why it's so important to come through. Then you get opportunities to work with someone like this. You can get the mentorship for free just by going to the job site every day and working
Right.
with him.
Yeah.
Like legit, because it's pouring out of him, right?
Yeah.
We say our cup runneth over.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we attract our tribe. My concrete guy is the same thing. He's a believer.
Yeah.
You know, believe in what it is.
No,
Yeah.
but what you said there is powerful, because the biggest thing, because I talk to a lot of people, and the biggest thing with landscapers is they tell me, man, I can't keep my employees. And a lot of it stems from them not seeing that they haven't refined themselves, and
Yes.
they're not bringing success for the employee to the table. They're not bringing a bright future for the employee to the table. They're not bringing opportunities for the business to the table. It's all just like a machine, like you said.
Yes.
And it's hard to be a machine and keep it running that way, because there has to be more. Look what he said. People go on Instagram for a connection. That's what people go to work for. So if they can tap into a connection while they're at work getting paid, and they have community, they have everything there, they're not going to go anywhere. That's how you get someone to be on board for 30 years. And you can be with someone like him, you know,
Yeah.
while you're at
I
that job
appreciate
working
that.
there. No,
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, it's that whole connection. We're in job sites. We laugh. If something messes up, we know that there's a
solution.
It's a solution.
Just chill
to
out.
it.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, we don't need to like go, oh my God, or we might lose money. There's times where I lost thousands of dollars on a project, but I knew it's gonna come back. But the reputation, but not just the reputation of what the world sees. You know, the reputation of what my God sees. Like how I'm gonna fix
Who
this.
you really are.
Yeah, who I'm really are. The integrity of the job, and when something happens, do I just run from it, or I'm just gonna handle it? You know, oftentimes, I'm not gonna lie, there was jobs where I went out, I was like, no, you handle yourself. I'll walk away. You know, and that interaction would come. You know, but now today it's like, if there's a problem, head on with it. We're gonna solve it, and we're gonna make it happen. You know, and that's a good thing, and especially when employees are like that too. They see I'm there working with them. We're gonna get down. We're gonna do it together. If they're there at the nighttime, I'm there with them at the nighttime, and that's what they love that too. Getting respect from them.
No, man, it goes far. But a lot of it is refining who you are and creating that.
Yes.
You think that's what it's? That what you tell people on your?
Yeah, and I think it's that you give an energy too. You know, I don't have that like mentality of boss energy. And when you're on the property, they won't even know who's the boss.
Yeah.
Because I'm there, I'm working like them. I just make certain calls, and sometimes they're well enough, competent enough to make the decision if I'm not there.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
and you're working with people that are pros.
Yeah,
So they're
pros.
better than you in their
Oh, I
craft,
love it.
which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah, I love it. you
So
know?
like, who are you to say? You know, I guess you would be like the money. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you're the boss, bro. Here, with concrete, you're the man. Don't ask me.
Yeah. I'll be like, talk to him. What do you think?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get
yeah.
our brain stores together. You know, but one thing I love about all of them is that they know that we're gonna run it by Alberti first before we make a
Yeah,
decision.
it's respect.
You know, they have that level of respect. I had other contractors walk on our projects trying to take ourselves out.
Wow.
Like, hey, I could pay you more. I could do this.
Yeah, we deal with that.
Yeah, and then, you know, I love these guys, and they're like, no. They're like, we go through Alberti.
But that's what's up, because they feel a specific type of way with you. You've created that,
Yeah.
like some type of purpose fulfillment that they can
Yeah.
enjoy what they do.
Yeah, you're 10 years in. What has been like where you're at now as a business, like from 2015 to 2025? What has been your strongest marketing strategy? What do you feel has worked the best for you when it comes to like marketing yourself?
Marketing myself? That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked. community, because sometimes I use Instagram, pouring a whole bunch of money into marketing when all I needed to do is put myself in a community of people. And there, people started doing business with me just because of me, or getting on a podcast, or an Eventbrite, go on Eventbrite looking for those events, and you telling people I do landscaping. I remember I attended an Eventbrite, and it was about like real estate. It's not about landscaping, but I know the realtors were in there. That same day, the lady was like, "You do landscaping?" I was like, "Yes." I knew I was there for it.
Crazy.
That same day, the next day, I did the estimate. I got the job. It was like a $12,000 job.
Fire. From
Bam.
being there.
Just being there. And being in the presence in those rooms. Yeah.
Networking events.
Just networking events, making time for that stuff. Networking events.
That's fantastic.
And I was just getting there. And now it's just like word of mouth, And now I'm in part of a mentorship, coaching, and all this stuff. I attend a lot of those mentor coaching things that go on, and those people in there, your proximity is power. You're rubbing shoulders with people with success and money, and it's like, man, it's like
refinement.
Yeah, refinement, responsibility, and discipline, and you're getting around them. And shout out to my coach Ryan Zola, and being around people like that, but not just about the money. It's like, if it wasn't for the discipline, my mentors wouldn't be able to get to where they're at today. Discipline, action, eliminating limiting beliefs, and that has all have helped me to expand my business to where it's at today.
Oof.
Like, I wouldn't be imagining that I'll be sitting here in a podcast, and what's today, Thursday?
Today's Thursday.
Look,
bro.
I'm enjoying life so much that I don't even know what day it is. I'm like, let's just go.
No, and we're recording this right now. It's 11:40 in the morning.
11:40 in the morning. But
So,
if I would have had my old beliefs,
so why is this happening?
why this happened? Because I made a decision.
Because you're what? You're meant to do.
Yeah,
something.
I meant to do something. That's right.
That's why you have the time. That's why it's been open to you.
Exactly. I love it. Like you said, I meant to do it. I started making space. My life was so cluttered.
Yeah. I gotta work. I gotta work.
I gotta go do this. I'll take that job. I'll take that job. Any job that came my way, I took it. It's like feeding bread to the pigeons. If it was
Never
there,
stops.
I was like, boom. But I started giving myself space. Not only space from certain jobs, but space in my finances to open up and actually really look at myself back to like now be in a position to serve, to be in that position. And you may have to sacrifice a little bit. It's going to get scary. And if you're scared, that's a good thing. As you're scared, that's a good thing.
It means you're doing the right thing.
Oh, man, it's just scary, man. It is scary. Like when I'm talking about, you ever been in a position before where you feel like when it's rock bottom, you have no one to reach to, and you just
all you can do is look up.
And I'm
That's
like,
it.
man, I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know what you want me to do next, but align me with your purpose and put in there.
Being a landscape designer, being in the industry, where do you think things are going? Like, where do you think things are evolving to as an industry?
As an industry, if we're looking at 10 years down the line, looking at artificial intelligence, it obviously wants to eliminate a lot of what we physically do.
What would that be? Like the design, for you being a designer, you gotta create a name for yourself in that space.
Yeah.
Because
so
AI can overpower the design space.
exactly.
And it already is.
Yeah, it already is. So I look at all that stuff, and I like to pivot myself. That's why I'm in areas of my life where I'm pivoting. Helping more people in different aspects.
Community.
Yeah, community.
Broader reach.
Yes, broader reach. So the design aspect, it's like AI. Eventually, it's gonna take over. And
But AI is not gonna go run all the jobs at the job site and be with the guys.
no, they're not gonna.
AI can't plant the plant.
Yeah. And one day it will.
Maybe you gotta get
One day it
creative.
will. Yes.
You gotta be creative and be ready to move.
So
Nimble.
I'll be the guy who'll be the landscaper that'll be fixing everybody's robots.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Your
Yeah.
landscape robot repair service.
Right? I'm telling you, you gotta.
No, but we all have to pivot. It is what it is.
It
You know,
is.
It's not gonna be the same forever.
Everyone had to pivot, from people in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Everyone had to pivot. Look what happened with Uber. Uber just took over all the taxis, and now self-driving cars are coming in.
Yeah.
And it's just, eventually you just have to get out that think more creative. We're getting into
Bigger.
a creative area in this industry that we're gonna have to get creative 10 years down the line.
The other thing,
AI is going to simplify everything. You just put in what you need to do in what places, and it's going to.
well, right now there's an app that my wife showed me that you could take a picture of your backyard, and it'll give you endless options of design. You can literally tell it what you want it to be with the tree over here. I like purple. I like layers. I want a pool in the middle. Like I want the pergola in the corner, and it does it for. It's an app. It does it for, and it's free. And is it a 3D rendering that flies around? It looks like you're on a drone, hanging off a drone. No.
Yeah.
But is it there? Yes. And that's that one app. God knows what else is out
And
there.
it will evolve into become.
It'll evolve next week, and it'll do something crazy.
The only thing I think it will be missing is that the emotion that you bring to a client.
But that's you. That will be
Yeah.
you. So basically, if you're a designer, you got to learn how to become a brand, and you got to learn how to get yourself out there. I love what you said. No one has ever said that on this podcast. That the strategy is to go get into community. That right there, like the way that you presented that, no one has done that before, and I feel like that is maximum. Because you're getting the reach, you're getting the feel, you're getting the touch, you'll be able to shake hands, you're able to hold yourself accountable, come through, show people you really are an asset to whatever they are building and they want to be a part of. So that's how you become part of something more than just yourself. So I love that, and that AI can't really eat up.
Right.
You know, like the
relationship.
Yeah, those relationships, it's impactful. Like the relationships I have today, you know, very impactful, like real stewardships, you know.
Stewardship. And what's to come.
Yeah, and what's to come, you know. And
We're talking about today, but what about tomorrow?
Exactly.
Tomorrow's going to be more exciting than today.
Yes, yes,
The other thing you talked about was artificial plants.
yes.
Okay, so so you're out there. What do you see in for the future when it comes to the plant game?
The plant game, anything that takes maintenance, people don't want to deal with.
Okay.
People are very. Let me know.
What's a percentage that you would say right
Lazy.
now?
You're going to say lazy.
Basically,
People are
freaking
lazy.
lazy.
Yeah.
They're lazy, man. Nobody want. Everyone who I talk to now, like almost all my designs, I want low maintenance, no water.
Wow.
I'm
So
like, damn,
native,
so
low.
we're like freaking agaves now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want a
we're-
cactus?
yeah.
Give me a cactus. I was like, all right, you know, or Yucca rostrata.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like we're getting into that game where it's low water,
Less
no-
plants,
I
more
want-
rock.
Exactly, more rock. I want my design to look like the design you put in a year from now. You know, because many things that I could put into a design, like a bunch of tropical stuff, half the time these clients are not going to take care of it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're calling me back saying, hey, it's all wild, it's gone. I was like, well, you didn't take care of it.
Artificial plants.
Artificial
Where do
plants.
you see that going?
I see it growing.
You see it growing.
Because I see some nice installations going in the houses. I see some like Japanese trees going in there.
Cherry blossoms.
Cherry
For our boy
blossoms.
Matthew the plant guy, that's what he has created.
Yeah.
And we interviewed him on, I forget which podcast it was, but me and him are really tight. And what he brings to the table in creativeness is another level. But it's true, the space interior, it makes a lot of sense unless you have, you got to have the love to have plants inside. You got to like love it.
Yeah.
And those people hate artificial plants.
Yeah. The artificial plants though, I did a whole installation with artificial plants on the outside, all UV protected, but they wanted all the topiaries inside modern pots on the artificial grass with nice black rocks, shiny rocks.
Did it come out nice?
Oh, absolutely.
It looks beautiful.
It came out really nice.
Okay.
You know, but nothing was alive.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
so
dead. It's numb. It's like driving a Tesla.
So that it was numb. So
I have to shoot Eddie under the bus because Eddie has a Tesla. So that's what we came up with. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Being a designer and actually putting it in, it felt different.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
It was like bam, bam, done. It was not putting no dirt. It was like it felt
But
weird.
there's all different types of clients, and
Well,
you got to
very-
cater to everybody.
But very modern, no?
Very modern.
Like, isn't like, it's
I feel
very-
modern
like
is
very
simple,
plain.
simplistic,
Yeah,
just
plain.
rock different colors
Yeah.
with 5 different things, and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
I see that happening more and more, but you cannot fake a tropical landscape.
No, you
And I feel
can't.
like if you do that artificially, you'll be 6 times over budget
Yeah.
because those cost more than the actual
Yeah,
live plants.
Exactly.
And like for that person that doesn't install with you, I feel like you as a contractor of what you are today need to demand that they jump on a maintenance plan, and then
Yes.
either you find
I
somebody
love
that
it.
can do maintenance, or
I
you
love it.
create an opportunity
I love
for
it.
one of your boys that
Yes.
really wants to do maintenance on
Yes.
Saturdays.
Yes.
Mira, papi, Saturday, you're going to go to Fulana's house,
Yeah.
and you're going to go take care of everything over there and make sure everything's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, boom, and now and that's you on your job, and now you're creating opportunity, belief, and everything in your
Yes.
people.
Yes, so
and
I
you're
like that.
keeping everything that you did nice.
So we do offer that now.
Okay, that's fine.
Because the only reason why we offer that now, because when it comes to the tropical designs and everything, we hated that. We know 99% of the time it's going to go to psh. So we're like, we have to
Fix
keep
this.
this alive. So it's like, the good thing is we don't have to pull up with a trailer with a bunch of equipment and lawn machines. So it's really a lot of maintenance with your hands.
Yeah, okay.
Fertilizer.
Okay.
And just trimming all the dead stuff. So it's really just like going in there. It could be just two guys going in there. So it's not really that much money going out doing a maintenance on the design. So I do offer those plans.
Okay.
Like as soon as the installation's done, we offer the plan where we fertilize it every month and also take care of it every month.
I feel like if you're gonna spend, if you're gonna spend money on a landscape or an investment in anything, obviously you want to maintain it. It's like buying a car and
Yes.
never changing the oil,
Yeah.
never washing it.
Yeah.
It's like obviously.
Offer that to all the landscapers out there who just plugging in and running. Offer that plan because.
And if you can't offer it because you can't do it, create it an opportunity for
Yes.
someone that does.
Yes.
One of your boys is like, man, what can I do?
Yes.
What can I do? Do this.
Yeah.
Help me out, man. Help me shine. Help
That's
me come
right.
through. Let's elevate.
Yes.
Right. It's find, lack, and fulfill with abundance.
Yes.
That's what we talk about here today.
Yeah.
And we talk about that a lot over here.
Yeah.
Jumping out of your shell, thinking way further than yourself, and tapping into what we call abundance, which
Yes.
is never ending blessings and opportunities.
Yes.
And they
yes.
never stop if you really think like that.
Yeah, they never stop giving people the opportunity to do so. Because I was at the point where I was like, if you couldn't do it to 100% the way I did it, I'm not going to hire you. That's how I was. Until I was like, man, I remember it stuck with me what a guy said. If they can do it up to 75% to the scale if I can do it, let them do it. Because at the end of the day, we have to hold a reputation.
Yeah.
You
But you also got to delegate.
Yeah.
You got to also learn how to grow, which is another thing,
So we teach them, get it
Answer,
learned.
stopping by the flowers. It comes back to that.
Yes. Yes.
Us here, like me, for A's Ornamental, it was all of that. A lot of that. Stopping and buying a lot of flowers because this was meant to happen
Yes.
today at this date and
Yes.
time.
Yes.
And that like we had to go,
Yeah.
so we had to let go of a lot of things that were on, I had to let go of a lot of things.
Right.
And take the money that God was blessing us with.
Right.
Okay, that I wasn't using because I'm not used to this bread. I've been stashing money my whole life, buying things that investments. So it's like, you know what? Now I'm going to invest into staff, which are people that I've never believed in because it's hard to trust somebody with your baby. And we're going to create opportunities. We're going to trust that the guy that we prayed for shows up to the door. So now when we're looking for someone, Eddie, I'll be like, hey man, we need somebody like that. Eddie, let's do a post or let's do whatever. I look up to right here. I look up and I'm like, Lord, please send the right person. Let's create opportunities for him. Let's bless him. Let him bless us and let's go. And guess what? When the guy shows up, I ask him, hey, do you believe in God? Yeah. And I tell him, well, you prayed for us and I prayed for you, my brother. All right, here's the keys to the $80,000 truck. I trust you because I know nothing else.
Yes.
And you're implanting, hope and a white light into this person by creating an opportunity for them. People don't create opportunities for nobody. They want everything for themselves.
Right.
So it's very easy to stand out and make a first impression that's impactful when you're looking out for them. Right? So
love
like,
that.
yeah,
I love
man.
that.
And I'm not in that game of,
Right.
let's go and try to find, that's not what we're trying to do. We're in the playing game. Let's be realistic.
Right.
We do what our spirit tells us to do,
Yes.
and we walk that way by
Yes.
faith, not by sight. So
That's
what we
right.
see or what you do, I bless you, bro. I love you, man. Thank you. But I'm not going to try to copy you because
Right.
that's not my path.
That's right.
I need to answer my path. Stop and pick up the flowers at my gas station.
That's right.
Not at your gas station.
That's
Not
right.
go to your gas station and try to steal your flowers.
Yes.
No, I'm going to go pick up my own flowers. I'm going to
Yes.
go bless somebody with my own stuff.
Yes.
Paying attention, like be your own pioneer, right?
Right.
Like, listen.
I love that. I love how you explain that, helping others to get them where they need to be.
100%, man.
That's why you're in a position you're in.
Well, it's by answering the call, and it's by stopping and picking up the flowers and
Yes.
understanding understanding. So the money, I was so attached to it,
Yeah.
but God sent a bunch of different people,
Yes.
Eddie being one of them,
Yes.
okay, that look what we're doing today. We're
Yes.
impacting an industry.
Yes.
We're a voice for an industry.
Impact.
Right?
Impact.
Movement. It's called the plant movement,
Yeah.
right? So
Movement.
we're making noise.
Yes.
So now we have a platform that is a advertising space in the green industry through your voice, okay, that can help elevate you at a time of need, because here we
Right,
are
right.
today. We are in a time of need.
Yes.
Everybody's a little off, okay, based off of how it was
Welcome.
Welcome, right?
Yeah.
Less cash flow, less of this, less that. How do
Yeah.
you tap into abundance? How do you
Yeah.
tap into opportunities? If you don't have the money to do so, it's because you don't need money to do so.
That's right. That's
What you need to do is walk by faith, not by sight. Like I said,
right.
oh, how are you going to get all those millions of dollars to create that?
Right.
Dude, it'll come.
Yes.
If it's meant to happen. The guy was here last 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I remember
That-
everything wasn't always what it is today.
No, and everything
Yeah.
was never what it is
was,
today.
we're talking outside, and I was like, bro, you need somebody, you need a partner.
No, yeah, you need to hire somebody to help you.
Yeah.
You know,
That was-
one thing,
yeah.
the word that pointed out when you said was trust.
Yeah, trust.
Trust is a
Hard.
big word, you know, and eventually, I'm sure we can agree. So on the, behind the camera
and on the mics.
on the mics too, that at one point in our lives, our trust was taken advantage of.
Oh, big time.
Big time, you know, and where that trust was coming from limiting beliefs down to we were children, you know, and I'll share it on here. You know, I always share this kind of stuff that I didn't much trust men at one point in my life, you know, and it took me to, you know, disarm that, but getting mentors to help me disarm this trusting. Why do I have this distrust in people? Because in my business, I had no trust in a lot of people. If I let you in too much, you were trying to take something away from me. You know, I didn't like that. You know, but where did that distrust come from? You know, and that's why mentor and having coaches were like a big pivot for me, because they were able to get that underlying distrust. Where did it come from? Alberti, after our conversation, what's going on, what about this, asking question, what about this, and I was able to find the root of it. And once that came up, it was not the person, it was always me. It was always me feeling like that. You know, I had to be able to open that trust up, and opening the trust to other people, I was able to have a trust in my higher power, was God.
Wow.
You know, and it all came from my limiting beliefs, but that trust, it was huge. I think that was a huge pivot for me, is the trust part. Because I had people steal from me. The trust from, you know, being as a child, being around people who wanted to do things, and you know, it was just a distrust
For the bad.
for the bad. You know, that whole distrust, disloyal, it hits us hard. And I'm sure the people who are watching can feel that, be like, yeah, I'm like that too, because back in the days when I was growing up, a lot of things happened to me. A lot of things happened to us
No,
as
and also
children.
the world is very off. You know? It's very negative. So everyone's looking for a handout. Everyone's looking out for themselves, like we've been talking about. You know, so yeah, people, and we deal with that all the time, man. With all employees I have, there's always something going on. And it's like, all right, oh man, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, and it is what it is.
To grow, you have to learn how to let go.
Yeah. To grow, you got to learn how to let go.
Let go.
But
love that.
I want everybody listening to understand that if you are in the landscaping game and you feel some type of way, you can reach out to this individual because he feels called to do more for others than for himself. And I feel that, I see that on him 1,000%. I know that the words that he can tell you will open your eyes to better who you will become. And it's not just, this is something I want to say earlier, but I didn't. It's not just mentorship to make more money or to stand out or to grow spiritually. It's also to find the lack that you have in your life with your family. I never thought that I can run a business and be at baseball with my son. I never thought I can be doing this. I never thought I can be at Taekwondo. I never thought that.
Yeah.
I never thought I can come through for my wife, because my poor wife, I've been with her for 18 years. She's my rock.
God bless her.
Yeah, 100%. I never, you know, it got to a point where my favorite word to her was no. And it's not a bad thing. It's what it had to be. But then I lifted off from the no, where I can start telling her yes. But since I'm constantly saying no, it just stayed in that no cycle. So I had to grow as a man and understand that what I was doing was go do this over here. But I'm telling my wife no. And my wife's the one that I need to say yes to the most.
Yeah, you're helping
And I need
someone
to be
out right now.
And where's my wife?
Wow.
Who am I? Right?
Wow.
So there's a lot of things, guys, to literally open up your eyes
Yeah.
and see. And it only happens when you tap into who you are.
Yes.
Okay, you're not winning because you don't even know who the heck you are. So how the heck are you gonna win?
Identity shift.
You're copying what the neighbor's doing. You're copying what you see. You're copying this. You're copying that. Look what he said. He lifted off when he started doing the designs that he wanted to, not the ones that his boys were telling him how to do. Man, I can talk to you all day. I love you, bro. Genuinely, man. Like whatever you need from us, brother, we're here.
I appreciate you.
It's just powerful, bro, to be doing this for an industry,
Yes.
but for God.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
feel like that right there is something that I never thought I could ever say.
Yeah.
But the fact that I can be so transparent and walk and be a light today
Yes.
is so inspirational and so powerful, man, that I will not walk in any other way.
Yeah.
And I can't hide it anymore. God told me that my cup runneth over.
Yes.
And my cup is full and it's pouring out. I have to let this out.
Yes. Yeah.
We have to fill up cups around us. We got to put in the
Yes.
light that we ask him to give us and put us in these places every single day. Put me where you need me. Let me shine your light.
Yes. Yes. Plans to prosper you.
Let's
Give
go.
you a hope in the future.
Guys, reach out. All his information is going to be at the bottom.
You got this.
You have anything else you want to say?
Man, to the person who's like
On
I
the
said,
other side, what do you got to
on
say
the
to the
other
guy on the other
side, man?
side?
That you're not alone going through this. You know, you're just not alone. You just got to surrender, reach out. You know, we often go through things, our finances, whether it's drinking, alcohol, all this stuff. We go through it together. You know, we go through it together. You know, often we just want to hide things behind the smoke mirrors, but we got to take the mask off, peel the onion back, get to know what's inside of us so we could be a better person to everyone outside of us, to our wives, to our families, to our employees, and to all what God has brought us to in here today. But give me a holler on Boca Landscape Designs. Shoot me a DM. Hey, I seen you on the podcast. Just reach out to me. You know, I'm always that's me on the DMs answering. That's me. So just reach out to me.
No, and a judge-free zone, by the way.
That's right, judge-free zone.
No matter what you got, no matter what demon you're carrying.
That's right. we all carrying something.
Yes.
Okay. So
Whatever you're carrying, you show up, and the idea is just to get it away from you.
That's right. That's right.
Oof.
Yeah.
Eddie, you got anything else you want to say? Guys, we love you. We hope you had fun. If you made it to the end of this podcast, guys, I know that you're touched. Okay, this is awesome that we get to do this for an industry, the Plant Movement Podcast, and we're excited. If you want to jump on, you feel touched, you want to do something powerful, you want to be a part of something, pour your heart into the mics. Reach out on Instagram at the Plant Movement Podcast, and we will DM you back, guys. That's us too, by the way. And let's make it happen. All right, guys.
Make it happen.
God bless you, my brother.
God
Thank you
bless
for
you
everything.
too.
Thank you for making time to come.
Yes.
All right,
Make it
let's
happen.
do it, baby. It's all
Time for the
possible. Let's go.
blueprint.
God bless.
Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. Won't scratch the surface, no, this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.